Hello, brave people of the world. So today is a great day of Ukrainian armor. Kherson was liberated. So Kherson was under occupation around 256 days since 1st of March 2022. So it was only one regional capital that Russia captured in 2022. And of course, Russia planned to capture more. And it was the biggest city. It was also annexed September 30th, 2022. Officially joined to Russia. Anyway, now it's back to Ukraine because it's Kherson. It was always Ukraine. It is Ukraine. So I want to say a little bit short history about this region. So it's very historical region where Ukrainian Cossacks had their winter houses, zimivnik, also in other parts still under occupation of Russian Oleshka. It was Oleshkivska Sich, like the headquarter of Ukrainian Cossacks in 18th century, 1711, 1734. Also, biggest part of Kherson region was part of Crimean Khanate, like the state of Crimean Tatars, also Ukrainian citizens. So, big history of long history of Ukrainian Cossacks, Crimean Tatars. Of course, after annexation of Crimea in 1783, it became a part of Russian Empire. Anyway, mostly people who lived in nowadays Kherson region were ethnically Ukrainians. In 1917, 1921, when Ukraine proclaimed independence, so it was created Ukrainska Khata, like Ukrainian house, a community which wanted to develop Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian state, but of course it was fighting with Bolsheviks, and then a Ukrainian independent country lost the war against Bolsheviks, against Soviet Russia. So until 1991, it was part of Soviet Union. Anyway, in Ukrainian referendum, which took place 1st of December 1991, whole Ukraine voted around 92% to support Ukrainian independence, and Kherson region voted gave for Ukrainian independence around 91%. So always majority of inhabitants of Kherson region wanted to be part of Ukraine. So since occupation of Crimea, many Ukrainian governments, like local governments of Crimea, located in Kherson, Ukrainian citizens who live in occupied Crimea, they can change their passports, other Ukrainian services in Kherson region. So when Russian open aggression began in February 24th, 2022, by surprise and for many Ukrainians, Kherson was occupied very fast. So, of course, the question to our government after war ended, how it was possible that Russian troops came to Kherson so fast. So first Russian troops were near Kherson even in the end of February, and it was small fights for Antonio Bridge. And we have to remind also locals who were part of territorial defense of Kherson, who were fighting just with guns against Russian tanks. Around like almost 18 were killed, the heroes. After we have to know each person of this. It happened in one of city parks in Kherson. So glory to them, and let their souls rest in peace. They're really heroes. They understood that they're going to lose against tanks anyway. They didn't want to give up, so they were fighting until their death. Real heroes of Kherson, of modern Ukrainian history. And also, I have to say that rumors and Ukrainian media and Western media were talking about possible liberation of Kherson since the end of July. So the Ukrainians were waiting for this. Anyway, so that's why Russian took many troops and brought them from the eastern front, from Donetsk region and Kharkiv region to Kherson region. So according to data, around 40,000 Russian soldiers were in Kherson region, like on the western bank of Dnipro. So also thanks to this, Ukrainian forces liberated Kharkiv region, Izum and Kupinsk, and many other territories of Kharkiv region. Anyway, slowly, Ukrainian forces were moving forward to Kherson. Russians made few defense lines, so it was not easy task. With the help of HIMARS and artillery, Ukrainians were bombing bridges, Antonievsky bridges, and dam near Kakhovka, Nova Kakhovka. So slowly, by saving Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainians were moving to take Kherson back. Anyway, even since the end of August until 10th of November, Ukrainian took back around 260 square kilometers. But for the last night, like 10th November until 11th November, Ukrainians took back around 1,800 square miles. It's a huge territory. So cities as small town as Bereslav and also Kherson. So it's a great Ukrainian victory. If we see for the history, we had many different battles against Russia, like in Ukrainian-Russian wars since 16th century. So November 11th will be a great historical victory day. Next generation of Ukrainians will learn this date. Details of this campaign we will learn later after Ukrainian victory. So also taking back Kherson is taking a key from Crimea. Now from Kherson, where we control Kherson, as it's higher, land is higher than on the left bank of Dnipro River, so we can bomb now all roads to Crimea, so supplies line for Russians. So of course it will be not easy, but now war initiative are in Ukrainian hands, in the hands of Ukrainian soldiers. So we hope that West will continue to support Ukraine. Of course, I'm sure for next days we will learn about atrocities of Russians as they were doing in each occupied territory. We don't know how many our civilians were killed, were tortured, just because they were against Russian occupation. Also, a historical moment that Russia proclaimed this territory like Kherson 30th of September as part of Russian Federation. Also, they may change into their constitution, and now probably for last 400 years, Russian is losing after 1 month's proclamation of its territory. It's losing this territory Today, all the world was watching how happy were Ukrainian inhabitants of Kherson, just average people, where they were crying and joy, tears when how they were greeting Ukrainian forces. Also, you remember that during the March, April, and May, thousands of Ukrainians were coming, even under the occupation, with Ukrainian flag to the center of Kherson, just against to demonstrate against occupation. Unfortunately, many of them are killed. Many of them are in prison. Russian also make a deportation of Ukrainian children from Kherson and Kherson region. Anyway, we took it back thanks to probably hundreds and thousands lives of Ukrainian soldiers, our heroes. God rest in peace, their souls. So Ukraine took back Kherson, and now next is going to be Crimea. We don't know how long, how much time we need to take it back, but just as I said, initiative of war now is in Ukrainian hands. Of course, winter is coming, but many experts they said that Kherson may be liberated just in the end of December, in the beginning of January. Now, in the beginning of November, Kherson is back under Ukrainian control. So, great victory of Ukraine, historical day, and please support Ukraine. We're going to take back what is all our territory with Luhansk, Donetsk, and Simferopol and Sevastopol. Glory to Ukrainian soldiers, glory to Ukrainian army. Be brave as Ukraine and support Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!